I have some pretty fond memories playing video games, because video games were really fun, man. It's a lot of nostalgia back there. I remember the first console game that I ever played was Uncharted 2 on the PlayStation 3. And I remember I'd be climbing up those buildings, killing the bad guys. And it's like, those are some of the good memories I have, right? And I was really big gamer. And I remember I was back when I was really young. I used to play Minecraft on my PlayStation with my little brother, and so we would set up. We had like this shitty Nokia phone, right, where we set up this alarm, where like we made like this little song where we'd be like wake up and play Minecraft. So every weekend at around 6 or 7, that alarm would go off. We'd wake up, go down to the living room, and we start playing Minecraft, man. And those were the days, you know. And so as I got older, I would move on to different games, and one of those games was on Roblox called Rogue Lineage, and it's kind of this Souls-esque game where you would like spawn in with a specific character, and there's like these certain classes that you get that each have their own certain abilities and stuff like that. But you had to go out and like grind. You'd have to make the money, get the XP to get that class. And I remember I used to love playing that game. I'd say I put like hundreds of hours into the game, grinding up different classes. I'd have like multiple accounts with different classes, different skills, different abilities, and like I just remember late nights grinding, and that was fun because I felt like I was doing something. I felt like I was accomplishing something. I felt like if I got this next class, if I got this next skill, I'd be able to beat all the other players. I'd be the best in the game basically. And then eventually, I ended up quitting Rogue. I moved to this other game on Roblox called RB World, and in that RB World is basically 2K but on Roblox because I wasn't really into 2K at that point. So now on RB World, I was going into the park. I was playing against other people, right? Getting upgrades into my player, getting that 3-point shot, that layup, that dunk, right? And then same when I moved on to 2K, right? I would always spend so much time like grinding into these games, like putting effort, trying to level up my player, get these skills, and that like back then I was genuinely enjoying myself. I was genuinely enjoying my time, right? And a lot of my friends were playing these games too, so we would hop on those together and we would just chill out and just have fun, joke around, and that was fun, right? I feel like a commonality between all these games is that they're all like somewhat competitive in a way, because I was always competing against these other players, trying to be better than them, trying to beat them. I feel like that's one of the big reasons why I played them for so long, is because I feel like I'm naturally competitive. So I want to, I like going up against people, testing my skill against theirs, trying to prove that I'm better than them, and that translated into the games I played. Because in 2K and RB, you're trying to cook all these other people, trying to dunk on them, trying to win the game, and in Rogue, you're trying to kill all the other players in PvP, and that was fun for me. I really enjoyed doing that. Yeah, so I derived genuine enjoyment from playing these games, and I remember my parents would try and tell me to stop playing games so much. You have so much potential that I'm wasting, and I would tell them these excuses like, oh, but playing games is how I have fun with my friends. Or I remember this is stupid. I remember my parents would be trying to get me off the game and be like, oh, but this is helping my hand-eye coordination. Like, shut up, bro. That's so dumb. Cause it's really not. Right, it's a bit of a sidetrack, but I remember like I was playing this game with my family that was like, if the person who had the best hand-eye coordination was more likely to win, and I would lose to my sister like every time, and she didn't even play games like I did. So that hand-eye coordination thing is BS, bro. It's not real. It's fake. It's just a lie. You should keep playing. But anyway, right? I would always come up with these excuses so I could keep playing these games, because it's just what I found fun at the time. And sooner or later, I eventually just stopped playing video games as much. What really stopped me from being so interested in video games is when I really started to focus on my self-improvement. I started really focusing on improving my body, improving my physique. I started really focusing on hitting the gym, setting new PRs, getting stronger. right? Looking better, feeling better. Now, even though I started focusing on improving my life and my physique and things like that, I wouldn't say I completely stopped playing video games. I went from playing 10, 12, 14 plus hours a day to maybe dropping that down around like 3 or 4 hours a day. I was still playing these games. And so as I got further and further into self-improvement, I started focusing on, playing video games less and less. And what really stopped me from doing that so much is when I set a goal for myself, right? I really wanted to start focusing on three things: improving my knowledge, improving my money, like starting a business, and then improving my physique. And so essentially I told my online friends that I wasn't gonna be on as much because I was focusing on other things. And so now that I'd already told them, that kind of convinced me even further to stop playing as much, right? And so I started focusing on improving myself, right? Because fundamentally I knew that me playing video games so much isn't gonna help me in the long run. It was only hindering my progress. It was hindering my success. So I ended up cutting all of that stuff out, and I started focusing on things that matter, like reading and going to the gym, making money, gaining knowledge. And I feel like it was so hard at first to quit playing video games because fundamentally they trick you into thinking that you're accomplishing something, right? They trigger that dopamine sensor in your brain, and it makes you feel like you actually did something, like you actually accomplished something. And it's similar to like masturbation in a way. Right? Those video games, right? You're spending all this time grinding, trying to level up, trying to increase your stats, level up your character so you can accomplish that next big goal or beat that player, win the fight that you wanted to win. And when you actually do that, and when you actually accomplish that goal, when you beat that player, when you win that game, when you accomplish that task, it triggers the dopamine sensor in your brain, and it tricks you into thinking, wow, I accomplished something, and then it makes you want to do it again. And that's why video games are so addicting. They're tricking you into believing that you've actually accomplished something. And I heard this term in a video by Ruff. It's basically instant delayed gratification. Right? You're in this video game, you're putting in that effort, you're putting in that grind to like you're going through that hardship to accomplish the task, to beat the final boss, right? To beat the opponent in the game. You're putting in that work for the gratification of success that comes after that. But at the same time, it's instant because it only took you like the average 2K game could go for 5-10 minutes, right? So you're getting that gratification, but at the same time, it's somewhat instant, and it's tricking your brain into thinking you're actually doing something of substance, doing something important that's going to improve your life, which is why you keep doing it, which is why it's so addicting. And I feel like once you truly embark on your self-improvement journey, you begin to realize that real life is a lot like a video game, right? Because instead of hitting the bench press, grinding your strength out in 2K, you can do that in real life, and you can get stronger in real life. You can level up in real life, right? Instead of training your fighting skills on Rogue Lineage, you could do that in real life. You become a better fighter in real life. You could train boxing, Muay Thai, any one of the martial arts out there. Once you realize that you're able to level up your own character in real life, you'll just lose the motivation to play video games as much anymore. I've essentially cut out playing video games completely from my life, right? I went from playing hours upon hours per day to playing, maybe getting on the game for 30 minutes once every 2 weeks or so. Get off that game. It's time to level up in real life. Let's put our heads down and put the work in. We out. Mwah.